Welcome to MIFFs. I'm Matt Huss.
And I'm Dan Rhodes. Whether you know about Theseus or you're revising your syllabus,
If you want tales with a bit of jest, or you just want to hear about incest.
What?
What? It's really interesting.
Welcome to MIFFs. Welcome to MIFFs.
Hello and welcome to MIFFs episode 112. I can't believe we're doing 112 episodes of this. At this point, if you listen to this, you're in it for the long haul. We're going to do 2,000 more episodes, and you're contractually obliged to listen to every single one of them. I'm Matt Hoss.
How many episodes? Hi, I'm Dan Rhodes. How many episodes? Thanks for the introduction, Matt.
I was about to get there, but then you interrupted. You get angry
I was bored of your
intro.
introduction. I wanted to talk.
Okay, sorry. It's 30 seconds in. You can't be bored after 30 seconds.
You know how I get with these things. How many?
Oh,
you just saying then that we're going to do thousands of episodes? Can you predict? I want to make a prediction, and I say prediction, but I know what you're like. You'll predict it and then make sure it happens so that you're right.
No one's ever got me like you just got me right then. That's I'll predict the future, but do everything in my agency and control to make sure it happens.
Yeah, so you could be like, "Oh, I predicted that," and I'm like, "You didn't. You just made it happen." But the question was, how many episodes of MIFFs do you think they'll ever? What do you think our final episode number will be?
Okay, so you remember when we did like episode 18 and 13, 16, we did like prophecies, and we I think we're probably due one soon, right? Actually, I think maybe 120, but maybe we should do like a Ragnarok prophecy. Like, when does this podcast gonna end?
The end of
I think that'd be quite funny.
MIFFs.
Yes. Listen, why don't you get in touch with us and give us what when you think the podcast will inevitably fade out? Because it will fade out. At some point,
the flame will burn out. I mean, arguably, it will probably just come back as something completely different.
Absolutely,
we'll just wiggle our way back.
And arguably, the flame has already gone out, and we're just trying to the sparks, just not really.
What will happen is we will do a completely different podcast of a completely different topic that will gain huge traction, make us super famous, and we'll just be like, "Well, why didn't we do that 3 years ago?"
Right, I've got this idea. How about we roll up some marijuana and smoke it, and we'll discuss things a bit like Joe Rogan, but less toxic. And we'll be like, we can call it spliffs.
That's a good, yeah. Because I've never done drugs before, so I could that could be a funny way to try it on the podcast for the first time.
How about we try every
different drug each episode?
Yeah, there's like say why to drugs, which is like really informative and educational and really drug positive podcast. But we go a step further and actually try them on air. And the audience have to guess which drug we're doing. Yeah, I mean, we're just
that's a good one. Yeah,
I'm so cold. Can we do it? Can we give it a go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, Dan, which drug are we doing? Which one do you want to choose? I think Coke. I think Coke's in.
Yeah, I think. Right? I was thinking we'll start off. Yeah, start off easy, get harder. So I was thinking maybe we go like Coke.
Okay, we'll do a couple of rounds,
and then we'll do crack cocaine the next week. So we can talk about the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Dan and Matt review drugs.
Yeah. No, I already found this crack cocaine. It had a lovely after shadow. There's quite a few. Bit of really give some air to the taste. Can we be like savants?
Yeah, I think we should be like I'm with you.
Crack cocaine tasting as well. Yeah. Really goes nice with this cheese.
Yeah. Beautiful 2015 from Venezuela.
Apparently, Dan had to suck off a drug dealer for it.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Which is weird because he did it after the guy gave him the drugs.
It was really labor of love, really. But yeah. Okay. So I think we should let's try some of let's try and do our drugs invitation right now, because you're an actor, Dan. You can do good. Oh, maybe we should do it in turns. Maybe I do one, and you have to guess what it is.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like one person's sober, the other person's off their face.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do round one. I'll try it first. Okay.
Okay. We'll do that after the podcast. When we start spliffs after
Do you want to do it? I think we should give it like a little taster
Oh,
now.
you have some crack cocaine with you right now.
No, but I mean, I'm gonna pretend.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I'm not gonna light up just before a podcast. I'm a professional, Dan. I only do that in spliffs, actually.
You're a method actor. You
Yeah, methadone actor.
nice.
Okay, we don't have to do that. But talking about brand new podcasts, I've got a brand new podcast, Dan.
No, what a nice. That was actually for you quite a fresh segue.
Yeah, well, actually, in my other podcast, I'm slick as fuck. This one, less
Do you think
so.
it's
But
because of me and my
yeah.
influence on you? Have you come to realize this?
I didn't want to say it, but I think. Well, do you know what? When I do this podcast, I do try and do a slick introduction, but then you interrupt me 30 seconds in. That's what happens. The other people just don't do that.
Are they quote unquote professional?
They are quote unquote.
Got
Yes.
got no time for that, though, have you, Matt? I know. Okay, here's the thing. Now, okay, actually, before you do, let's just do your shameless plug. Tell the listeners what it's about. Go on, do your thing.
Well, thank you for
Well,
that, Dan.
cast of all. Actually, why don't I plug it?
Yeah, please, have you listened to it?
Sure. So Matt's
You haven't even listened to Myths.
Matt's got a podcast, everybody, called Castival. Good. I was
Yes.
waiting.
Yeah.
Every time I pause, it's because I need you to verify.
Yeah, that's good. I like this.
It's called Castival. It is a podcast.
Correct.
Good. That is basically where he talks to a guest about a topic.
You're getting more and more vague, by the way. He
Isn't it you just
talks.
talking to other comedians about love and loss and comedy?
No, not at all. Actually, Castival. It's about. I ask a famous guest to pitch their dream music festival lineup, and they talk about talk about the music and artists they would have, and also what other festival
that
experience.
idea. That's a good idea.
Thanks, man. Not as good as getting drugs and doing them on air, but there's time for it.
Well,
to
here's
grow.
my theory though. So you have that with people that actually, you're serious Matt Hoss and you do you listen to them and all that crap. But
Yeah.
I feel like after you've done the recording, I'm imagining you probably feel a little bit sad. You're probably thinking, "Oh, that didn't get weird," or "Oh, no one interrupted me," or said something horrifically offensive that I'll have to edit out. And then you come on this podcast, and
Yeah.
then you get a bit of that. It's like your balance.
Yeah, it's like I'm not and I'm doing myths weekly, and with this one it is weekly, but it's season by season. So this is still a very consistent podcast. So I still will get my kind of my abuse given to me. I guess like I'll still get my dose of reality. You know what I mean? Castable is my kind of plinth for stardom. This is my bring me back down. You know what I mean? You bring me down.
I apologize.
That's it. No. It's. I think you know what. I wouldn't change our relationship for the world, Dan. Unless I was given a career opportunity to ditch you, then absolutely. Me and Laurel X doing this, or like Jason Statham, banging.
Yeah, that was really annoying that he didn't return our emails to get on the podcast when you were doing Fringe.
I mean, just imagine if Jason Statham. Can you be Jason Statham now? I'll try and do this podcast because I think that'd be a very weird and hostile dynamic towards me. I don't think I play it off very
Well,
cool.
I think I reckon he's a real nice guy. I bet he's an absolute gent. So I think he'd probably have a lot of fun. Jason, if you're listening, which I assume he is.
Yeah, big fan.
Big fan.
Do you know Jason Statham actually has a Myths tattoo?
Yeah,
He was actually there in the live show. He travelled all the way up from London to see us.
Can you imagine if during the Viking Festival we did, episode 100 and 101, during the live special, if loads of celebrities came?
Yeah, and we didn't mention it whatsoever.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we never once referenced that all these famous people were in the audience. We just it was just because we're that bad at selling our own podcast.
Yeah, we talk about Brazil nuts for
but no one knows that the guy
sure.
that we talked to Brazil nuts for was George Clooney, and we just never mention it.
Yeah, I heard that Brian May was in the audience as well. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
I was like, Brian, put down your guitar.
Yeah, he carries it everywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, everywhere. Anyway, I think it's time for a myth, or if you want to light up, it's time for a spliff. You know what? We always say at the start of this podcast, let's just do a short intro. And it's always 10 minutes of bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh,
But I mean,
I'm not even
it's
gonna.
again 112 episodes, man. Like, come on, like people know what's happening. They know that what we say isn't what we do.
Yeah. But talking about what we say and what we do, why don't you follow castivalpodcast@gmail.com and give us a 5-star rating? Sorry, wrong podcast. Sorry. Why don't we give Myths a recap?
Do you want me to do my Dan Rhodes famous recap? Rhodes recap.
Yeah, because. So, what myth are we
We're
doing?
doing Beowulf.
Yeah, which I realized in the because I uploaded episode 110 recently. Beowulf. How would you spell Beowulf without looking at the Google Doc? Then.
Beowulf.
Yeah.
Wulf.
So you looked at the Google Doc because for sure you sent me the episode description, which is something Dan does every week, and he spelt it with an O, which I would have done as well. So
Well, can I
yeah,
just say actually, the reason I said you then is because I thought that's what you were referencing because I spelt it off of
yeah, the
the
episode
episode
description. Yeah,
description you
yeah,
sent me. So I was like, oh, I'll spell
yeah,
it
yeah,
that way.
yeah, yeah.
But I didn't think to Google and see if you were right or wrong. But I realized afterwards that I think it
No,
was actually spelled with you. But I just assumed you'd realize.
yes, which I did. Um, But yeah, so Dan, we've done two parts of it, very gory at the moment, and part one was quite high ranked. Part two was less so. But can you give us a recap what happened?
So, long and short of the last two bits, I'll do this really easily. There's a town, there's a kingdom, and it's being plagued by a demon called Grendel. He's like this weird, giant, humanoid demon, horrible thing, that monster that comes and every now and then kills quite a few people in the village or the town. And the king of the town was getting really annoyed. His kingdom's being ransacked by this creature. So he basically hires, I guess he's a mercenary for hire, isn't he? A guy called Beowulf. He's an absolute badass. He's a monster killer that goes around, yeah, the world. And he arrives at this kingdom. Day
Hmm.
one of being there, he basically kills this monster immediately. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, we're safe." Everyone loves him so much that the king even decides to make him heir to the kingdom, which we thought was weird.
Yes.
And his own son is not too happy about that. The king's son is the
Mm,
prince is not too pleased that this
I,
guy that their dad has known for one day has come in, killed a
yes.
monster, and been given
Hmm.
the heir to the kingdom. But it is what it is. Everyone's happy and dancing around. They think, "Oh my god, this guy saved us," and then they realize that Grendel's mother
Uh-oh.
is also deep in the mountains somewhere, and she is not pleased, was she, Matt, that her son is dead?
She absolutely. She was so angry she came out of a cave.
Literally.
Do you want me to
And
continue?
she
Yeah.
went
Sorry.
crazy. She killed even more people. And then Beowulf was like, fine, I'll stick around a bit longer and kill her. Which he does, to be fair, didn't he? He like
Yeah.
dived down into a lake. He found her like underground cave that you access via this lake in the mountains. And yeah, while he was fighting her, and it was quite a good battle. Like he was struggling to kill her, but eventually he found
Yeah.
this sword that happened to be lying around in the cave
On her
on her
shelf.
shelf. Yeah, presumably we assume from someone else who's tried to fight her in the many years ago, and he
Mhm.
gets the sword and he killed her, didn't he?
Absolutely, and yeah, and the town was very happy. They didn't believe he'd done it, but he did,
Yeah,
and yeah, very much. I think he went back home to his English. He went back home to his royal house in Den.
somewhere in Denmark.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
but he's done it. He's killed Grendel. He's killed Grendel. He's killed the two monsters that ransacked this kingdom. They're happy for him to go. He's going to go. I do think something. I'm not. I'm excited to see what happens in this one though, because there's for them to be a third part. There's either going to be another monster that they didn't foresee, or something is going to like. He's going to end up going back to that kingdom, isn't he? Because he's there to the throne. Something's going to happen.
well. You know what, Dan? I think it's high time we find out. So this part three is called Dragonbane. Very
Very
interesting.
interesting. But as far as we're concerned, Beowulf thinks he's done his job, right?
Yes,
He doesn't know there's
absolutely,
part
but
three. He probably just thinks there was only two parts.
a bit like Jason Statham, he's back out in retirement, presumably. Hygelac, Beowulf's uncle, was killed fighting against the Franks in Jutland. Hygd, the wife of Hygelac, tried to bestow the kingdom to Beowulf. since she believed that her son was not strong enough to hold off any attack against their hostile neighbors, the Frisians and the Swedes. Beowulf refused to accept the kingship and let her son, Heardred, to rule the Geats, while the hero supported his young cousin.
Beowulf is just
However,
getting given kingdoms all over the shop.
left, right, and center. But I guess like these are the times where it's not necessarily democratic. In fact, it's despotism, where I guess the leader is picked by who's the strongest. I guess who
Yeah,
can defend. There's a utility to being a leader. Do you know what I mean?
you've got to be a
People
warrior.
want to pick him. People want to vote for him. Do you know what I mean? They want someone to be. They want to feel safe, I guess. And he's like, no, I don't want to. I'm done with the kingship. Just I want to live a pastoral life. However, Herdred was killed in the war against Swedes, so Beowulf became king, and his reign lasted for 50 years. He was said to be a wise and powerful king. That's quite annoying because, like, you're just like, no, no, thanks. But then it's just like, oh well, he's
So there's
dead.
all that lead up about how he didn't want it, and then it's just like,
Yeah,
well, long story short, he had to because the guy died.
and also for 50 years as well. That's a long time. How old is Beowulf? You know
He's
what I
probably in
mean?
his 70s now, surely.
Yeah. Well, do you mean right now in 2020? Because
Yeah.
that's it's probably a bit
I
older
reckon
than
he
that.
was late 20s when he kills the monsters in the
So
beginning.
he's like an old 8-year-old man. One day, a slave had found the treasure hoard of the dragon which dwelled in a cave near the sea. This is very similar to Fafnir and Sigurd, right?
It is, yeah.
The slave stole a gold cup while the dragon slept. When the dragon woke and found the cup missing, the dragon knew that according to the track, the thief was human. Ooh. Just a quick note. In most Norse and German myths, the dragon was often wingless. However, in the Beowulf, we find that this dragon is what most modern readers see dragons as fire breathing creatures with strong, powerful wings. So before it was kind of like a lizard, but now it's like
But
a.
now it's a full grown dragon. In a towering rage, the great evil dragon flew through the sky, attacking the Geats and the Geatish towns, destroying crops and properties. With vengeance in her heart, the dragon set peoples and homes on fire. Nice. Beowulf was no longer a young warrior like when he killed the monster Grendel and his mother. I mean, as we've established, he's probably like 70, 80.
And he's had 50 years on the throne as well.
Yeah, he
So
hasn't killed a
people,
monster in a while.
yeah, I imagine, yeah, like he's probably just having his meals on wheels, if you know what I mean. Let alone like trying to fight a dragon. You know what I mean? Also, this is again with the Norse mythology and Anglo-Saxon like mythology. There's a lot of Hobbit vibes. You know what I mean? This is feels very Smauggy.
It does very smauggy, yeah. I reckon that was probably an influence for Tolkien.
Absolutely.
Yet Beowulf wished to hunt, despite his age, Beowulf wished to hunt and kill the dragon, like he had always done in
Um,
the past, alone. Although Beowulf took 11 of his bravest thanes with him, he only expected his followers to witness the encounter against the dragon.
well, you're such a dickhead, right?
Yeah,
Because
he's like,
imagine
you
like
guys can
I'm gonna
come, but I'm going to be obviously killing it because you guys just watch. They're like,
also
Beowulf, you have a walking stick and a Zimmer frame.
And also, like you said, all right, I'm gonna pick my 11 bravest things to come with me. Like, yeah, so we're gonna fight the dragon. It's like, no, you're gonna be, watch me. It's like, how are you brave for watching? You know what I mean? Like, you aren't gonna get a medal for that, are you?
I
Imagine,
do
imagine if
reckon
you.
because Beowulf was super duper fit. I mean, they made a lot of talk about that in the first episode about how he swam across the ocean and how many monsters he's
Mhm.
killed and how he killed Grendel with his bare, like ripped his arm off with his bare hands. So he's probably still look. I reckon he's still in quite good shape. He's definitely like he's like those Greek statues of Zeus where he's like an old man but like he's ripped.
Yes, absolutely. Like,
King Leonidas in
he-
300.
he's the kind of old man you see at the gym working out every day, who's like buff as like he's a bit saggy, but he's buff. He can knock
He's
you out in a
buff.
single
Yeah.
punch. Yeah, it's like Ron Perlman.
Though Beowulf took 11 of his bravest thanes with him, he only expects the followers to witness the encounter against the dragon. In fact, rather foolishly, Beowulf told them that he does not want their help, and that he would not have taken his sword if the dragon had not been a fire-breathing monster. That's so
Oh, I'm
Beowulf. Beowulf, why are you
yeah.
taking your sword? Oh, it's breathing fire, so I guess I should, for safety purposes, take my sword. Because he's got a thing, hasn't he, about killing them with his bare hands. He loves that.
Yeah, and yeah, maybe like, but also like, imagine like a sword as PPE. It's like, well, how is that going to protect you? So have you got like fire resistant like clothing? It's like, no, I'm going to go in a loincloth and have this sword. It's like that's not helpful, is it? Imagine if you got burnt from that.
The Beowulf kills people with his bare hands, so I'm pretty sure a sword is just for him. Is like, wow, he's got a sword. He's gonna go to
It's luxury.
yeah.
It's like,
Beowulf
wow.
and his Geatish followers found the cave or burrow. Beowulf was in the van and headed towards the cave. Well, it was a van in Viking times. Let's just sorry before we
It,
carry on. He's not
it's,
physically pulled up in a transit, has he? And got out the car.
he's got one of those like 60s Volkswagen buggies, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he just like smoking. He's smoking the spliff as well. Ooh,
He
mellow
had
out, man.
He headed towards the cave where he was confronted by the dragon. With his sword drawn, the aged hero advanced upon the dragon. Beowulf struck the dragon's head with the ancient sword, only to find the sword became blunted. The blow had only made the dragon angry. I bet it did. The guy's
Oh
just.
shit!
Beowulf had seriously underestimated the dragon's power when the fire blasted out of its gaping maw. Maw. Beowulf's mighty shield was Sorry. Sorry, I
With
just
bear
keep.
protection, mate.
Yeah, there's two things have happened that made me laugh. One is it says bear protection, and I said it like a gangster, and I don't know why. I
Yeah,
apologize.
bear protection.
And the second thing is that fire came out of its gaping maw, and I hope that means mouth.
Yeah, just an asshole. I had a curry last night. Sorry, lads.
Gaping maw sounds like something else, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Um,
Oh, damn. Check out my gaping maw in your van.
Beowulf's mighty shield was bear protection from the scorching flame. Beowulf's body suffered great agony from the flame. I bet it did. While the toxic fumes from the dragon's breath seared his lungs. Oh, so he's having a tough
Okay,
time.
hold on. Right. So he's been burnt by this dragon with fire. And yeah, the body's been hurt. It admits that, but it says, "Oh, the toxic fumes are hurting his lungs." Like that's not the main. He's been burnt alive. He's like, "Oh, my lungs hurt a bit." You know what I mean? Like that's not the main. That's not the big thing there, is it? And
That's
also,
classic Beowulf.
yeah, and also like I feel like this is just vengeance for Beowulf at the moment because
Yeah.
every other time he's just ran in and attacked it and it's worked out fine for him. But this is the first time where that hasn't happened, and he's like, "Oh well, should have thought about that." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I imagine Beowulf's the kind of guy that gets completely engulfed in flames for like 10 seconds. And then the minute the dragon stop, like the minute the flames go out, he just looks at his men's like, ow. Like he's just so, like,
Yeah.
like it hurts, but it's like, he's pretty chill.
Yeah,
Um,
he's just having a Capri Sun, chilling out,
uh,
sunglasses on.
Geatish warriors who witnessed their lord's titanic battle began to quail in terror and fled from the troubled king. So it turns out they actually weren't good at watching.
Yeah,
One
and weren't brave.
Yeah, weren't brave. Yeah, they had two guys. You had one job. Only one warrior did not flee. Oh, good for him. Winglaf, who was a kinsman of Beowulf and the son of Weohstan, who was what?
I think that sentence just stops.
Yeah. Anyway, Winglaf
It
had
was.
received this. Winglaf had
Question mark?
received the citadel from the Wagmundings.
Isn't that a font on
Yeah, I
Microsoft
think
Word?
it is. To be honest, they're just
That
doing that classic North myth thing that we hate, where they just chuck in so much pointless exposition about family and genealogy and the looks of what people look like and what their sword is called, and it's just like, please, dude, no.
just keep it relevant,
What happens,
which
man?
is what
What's Winglaf going to do? I mean,
I think
fair
it's
play to
Wiglaf.
staying, by the way. Can we just shout out to Winglaf?
I think it's Wiglaf, by the way.
Shout out to Wiglaf.
Wiglaf sounds like a prop. He sounds like a rat laugh, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Wiglaf rushed in with the sword of the Swedish prince Edmund, whom his father had killed. Together, the two Geatish heroes attacked the dragon. Once again, Beowulf struck the monster's head with his sword, Ningling, but the mighty blade broke in two. The dragon attacked again, biting into the hero's neck and shoulder. The corselet could not protect him as the blood streamed down and the venom entered his body. Oh
So
no.
hang on. Here we go. So he's like 70, 80 years old. All but one of his
Yeah.
men have run away. He's had
Yeah.
fire breathed over him. His lungs are burning from the toxic fumes. So he's
Yeah.
burnt all over. His
Hmm.
sword, which is meant to be like the strongest in the land, has just broken in two. And
Yeah.
now he's not only having his neck and shoulder ripped off, but he's also drained, like injected venom into him.
Isn't it quite sad that an 8-year-old man, you've seen him being just like chewed to death
Is he
and
having a
everyone
tough?
else
He's having a
doesn't.
tough time, I think.
Well, he is having a tough time, and so is the dragon because they must be quite gamey. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
very
The dragon
stringy.
just seems like he's just getting more and more pissed off. I don't think it's at all injured.
Yeah, I don't think the Beowulf's gonna come out of this. Um, with his sword, Wiglaf thrust the blade into the dragon's belly, seriously wounding the serpent. Beowulf was still alive, and he managed to draw out his dagger and slay the dragon. Hold on, so his big sword broke in two, but it's a Beowulf's small little dagger kills the dragon.
No, I think the trick here is if you look, every time Beowulf's tried to struck the dragon, it's been on the dragon's head.
Yeah,
Because he talks about how he hit the dragon's head, it didn't do anything. He struck
yeah,
the monster's head with his sword, but it broke in two. So I think while he's trying to attack the head, Wiglaf's been sensible and gone in under the dragon whilst he's like distracted by Beowulf and stabbed him in his weaker, like the skin, like maybe where he hasn't got big scales.
gotcha. Yeah, so the vulnerable part.
Yeah,
So that's actually good tactics from Wiglaf right there. I
yeah.
think Wiglaf's my favorite person in
Because
this
he's obviously
series because
noticed that Beowulf's aiming for the head and neck of the dragon, which is clearly not doing anything. So he's crawled under it and stabbed it in its weak part. Yeah. And you think of lizards and serpents, they do have slightly weaker bits under their belly. I mean, you do think of a crocodile, like it's got that.
yeah, it's got that mouthy bit.
Yeah.
Um, Having killed the dragon, the hero could no longer stand, as the poison seared through his body in excruciating agony. His wound was mortal. Without an heir, Beowulf knew that his neighboring enemies would most likely attack his Gatish kingdom when they hear the news of his death. So, Beowulf asked his loyal companion to fetch the dragon's treasure so he could see what he had won just before he died. Wiglaf obeyed his leader's last wish. After seeing the treasure, Beowulf gave Wiglaf the gold collar. Is it a sex collar?
Maybe.
What?
Yeah.
Is it a dragon size or Wiglaf size? Because
That's true. If
either,
it's a dragon-sized collar, that's massive. It's gonna be like a hoop,
yeah, I
like
mean,
a
yeah, it's like a hula hoop.
yeah.
Beowulf gave Wiglaf the gold collar, which probably signifies the young hero as his successor. Then the Beowulf's soul left his body.
Can I just say that there's an important distinction with what they've said here, which probably signifies.
Yes,
So the guy
absolutely.
doesn't
I
even
noticed that.
know.
No,
He's just
I
like,
think
so
Beowulf,
Beowulf's died, and Wiglaf's like, oh, I'll just tell everyone he said I'm the heir.
because that's absolutely the story what happened there. He's like, oh yeah, it probably signifies it. Yeah, absolutely, it probably signifies
He's like,
it, and
Beowulf,
like it.
I know what you're saying. Beowulf's like, no, I'm not saying that. He's like, it's fine. Sleep. I will look after your kingdom. Beowulf's like, no, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, it's like the gold collar is to warn people not to trust him.
Yeah, Wiglaf's just gonna go home and be like, "Hi, everybody! I've got this gold collar. Beowulf told me with his dying breath that I am 100% his heir. Definitely said it."
Do you reckon the gold collar is a bit like how in beauty pageants they have sashes for the winner? I think
Yeah,
it's kind of like a medieval sachet. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just says dragon killer.
I'm sad that Beowulf's died though, because can I just say that is a very Beowulf way of dying. I mean, he took a lot of. It took a lot to kill him,
I mean, he's an 80-year-old man. Like he's like
but still took fire. His lungs got seared off. His neck and shoulder basically got ripped out, and he got poisoned. That's a yeah.
what a lad. Oh, you know what? I'm glad he's dead, but in a nice way.
Yeah, the
Like
quadruple, or the quadfecta, we call that,
what?
because it's four things, like a trifecta.
You're funny, Dan. Wiglaf mourned his beloved prince and kinsman. Wiglaf was so angry he rebuked the 10 warriors who had cowardly deserted their king. Wiglaf ordered one of them to send news back to the palace of the death of their king.
The messenger brought the sad news to the Geats, and a prediction of troubled time against their enemies from the Swedes and the Frisians. Now they had no strong leadership. Wiglaf had a great funeral pyre just set. Oh, fuck off. Wiglaf had a great Wiglaf had a great funeral pyre set just outside of the barrow on the cliff overlooking the sea,
Fuck off.
which was called Whaleness.
Oh my god.
They had pushed the body of the dragon over the precipice into the sea. Once his body was consumed to ashes, the dragon's hoard was buried, never to be seen or used again. That's interesting. The end.
Dan, hold on. I've got a fan theory here. Was this actually on of the west body of the English Isles? Maybe Whaleness was Wales, and that's the dragon on the Welsh flag.
Nailed it.
Well, can we do this whole myth again, but as Beowulf as well? I'm going to bloody kill you, you little dragon.
That's a good Welsh accent.
It's not bad, is it?
No,
At
didn't
the
know you
moment,
could do
my
that.
brother. I didn't know I could do it either. At the moment, I do this thing where my brother, he's quite boring at the moment, and he's kind of in the last year of his life, he's become
Does he
he's
know it's the
very
last year of
like
his life?
in no, in the last year, not the last year of his life. I'm not gonna kill him. He's not gonna be eaten by a dragon. But like, he got very boring, and I do this voice for him when he's like just doing like the weekly shop and just like going for a run about 5 times a week. Or oh hello, no, let's try that again. And I got to do the I got to do the no, I'm getting there. One sec. Pink Alice. I'm
This is
really sorry. I got to do the dishes 8 times a day. I'm really sorry. Like that. It's very squeaky.
yeah, that's all right.
I've got to do a 5K run in 20 seconds. I'm very All right, I think it's time to go and rank this meal. Hey there, my name is Matt Huss, and in this link, I have an American accent, and I advocate the safe use of MIFF podcasts in small doses. Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How you doing?
Good. I'm glad Beowulf was over. It wasn't as good as I remembered.
Classic horse.
uh,
Well, you know those 3 hours we just spent doing that myth? Wasn't good, was it?
no, I enjoyed the myth, but
I thought it was all right. I
yeah,
thought the first. I don't know. I liked it actually. I thought that was a good narrative for Beowulf. He went out strong.
yeah. You know what? In terms of structure and story, it's a good story. I like it. I just think,
And in terms of a character, I like him. I think he's a
well,
good
no, I
protagonist.
think that's what I don't like. Actually, I don't think I like Beowulf. I think he's quite
Oh, that's
annoying
interesting.
because he's got very lucky and he just kind of runs into things.
Well, I just see him as a badass. I see him as yeah. I don't know. I just see him as a Witcher type.
Yeah, okay. We usually rank this in 4 categories, which is life skills, morals, creativity, and WTF. And today we're going to start with creativity. No, we're not, which is life skills. um,
Can I just say the one thing I am? Let's just get the elephant out of the room. One thing I am really sad about is that Beowulf, unlike in the movie, never banged Grendel's mother to make a
right?
baby.
I thought that was going to happen.
Because in a film,
Hmm.
the dragon that he has to kill at the end is his son
Oh, is
that he's
it?
made with her. Yeah, many years before.
See, that's a better story, actually.
Yeah, like he bangs Grendel's mother, but says that he's killed her, even though he hasn't. And then he becomes king. Like in this, the rest of the story takes place as normal. Like he becomes a king, and then when he's an old man, the dragon comes and starts killing everyone, and he soon realizes that the dragon is actually the offspring that he had with Grendel's mother all those years
I
ago.
mean, that's an awkward conversation. Oh, sorry, am
Which
I?
is a better story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you say.
Like, imagine trying to meet your son and he's a half dragon. It's like, hi, dad. It's like, kill it with fire.
Yeah, and in that moment, Beowulf also in the film realizes that Grendel, the reason he was a weird humanoid creature dragon thing, was because he, it turned out, was probably the offspring of that king had at one
Oh,
point had sex with the hot
shit.
dragon woman.
Oh, Grendel's been
Because she's
banging
like a
around.
temptress, right, in the film, like Angelina, played by Angelina Jolie. She's like a temptress. And he had, I think Anthony Hopkins plays that particular, I can't remember what that king's name in the first and second
Hrothgar?
episode. Hrothgar, yeah, that's it. Hrothgar, like, yeah, he knows that Grendel is actually his child that he had with the demon.
Oh, that's awkward. Well, okay, Dan. Would you ever have sex with a sexy Grendel's mum? And what would your child look like?
Well, I guess I would if she was really lovely, but I wouldn't know that I was going to create crazy dragon water demon offspring.
What if? Hold on. What if your child came out like me and I was just really good at podcasting?
Then I would feel like I've absolutely wasted the genes from the demon that I.
So, okay, let's talk about life skills. What are the practical things we learned today, Dan?
What did we learn
We
today?
learned how to fight a
Um,
dragon and kill it.
yeah, I guess the main thing is literally we learn how to. Well, we learn how to. I suppose we learn life skills in the sense that we learned that dragons are very hard to kill. You can't aim for their head; you have to aim for their stomach.
Hmm. Um,
We learned that teamwork makes the dream work.
um, Running away. We learned how to run away fast.
Yeah, we learned how to run away.
We also learned how to
We learned
steal.
how to.
Didn't
We learn how to bestow someone your kingdom on your deathbed. You just give them a gold collar, apparently.
Absolutely. We learned how to survive attacks. We learned how to deal with venom for a decent amount of time, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Learn how to
Um,
break a sword. Oh, we learned how to burn a body and hold a funeral.
we also learn engineering in terms of how to push a dragon's body off a cliff. That's strong work.
Yeah.
I actually think it's not bad, but not a lot. So I'm gonna say 6.
I was gonna say I think it's just a little, maybe average, maybe a little bit above average.
Let's say.
Let's do 6.
Do you want to do 5? Is it 5?
I think it's average, isn't it? Let's do
Yeah.
5. Sorry, let me just. I hate it when it's goddamn bold and. Oh, you're changing it to be bold and underlined now, aren't you? Okay, fine. I'll be the bigger person.
That's my new favorite.
Morals. These are the.
Are they?
Sorry, I paused because you were doing something weird on that goddamn goop dog. Um, Morals. So we've done life skills. So yeah, life skills. I think we'll go 5. It's pretty average. Next is morals. So these are the moral things we've learned. What have we learned, Matt?
I
I guess is it a moral that we've learned that being old shouldn't stop you from doing the things you want to do?
Yeah, that's a good thing. I think it's also we learn the morals of standing your ground, and it's not good to be cowardly.
Yes, that's
I
true.
think,
Yeah, because Beowulf, the only reason the dragon died was because Wiglaf was brave enough to stay behind and help Beowulf kill the dragon.
and also that's the only reason why Wiglaf has become the successor because he was courageous enough to stand it. Do you know what I mean? He stood the heat. Um,
Yeah.
and I guess we also learned that actions have consequences. Like the slave stole a golden cup, and that created a dragon to kill a town and also kill Beowulf.
Yeah, that's true.
And also,
I don't
maybe
know, it's high.
I'm going to say a final one that despite experience, maybe not rushing into things is the best course of action. Sometimes maybe a bit more of a mindful
Yeah, it's good to
approach might be.
assess the situation.
Yes, I'm going to say,
Like Wiglaf did. He noticed that the head wasn't doing anything and he
and
was like, I'm gonna try something
that's
else.
why it's a better leader. I'm going to go out on a limb and say 8.
That's way too high.
Really, it's got actual genuine morals here, and I
That's true. I was thinking more like a 7.
I'm going to stick with. I think eight's appropriate because morals. What more do we want from it? I think it's almost. I'm almost saying 10. Am I? Eight's.
No, that's true. I suppose for once it does actually have one big overarching moral, which is to like stand like yeah, don't be a coward, stand your ground, be a good leader,
And
and
also,
assess situations.
most morals we mark are lack of morals, and this is actually the opposite. This is genuine morals. I think we have to reward it.
Fine, I've put an 8 down.
There we go. That was my dragon impression. Create.
Okay, creativity, the creative things we've learned. How creative was the story? I mean, we're not looking at the saga as a whole because that was very creative, but this one in particular. I mean, to be honest, I do quite like the whole like him not wanting the to be the king of the Geats, and
Yeah,
then his cousin dying pretty quickly, and then being like, "Damn it, he has to do 50 years."
like it's like a prison
And
sentence
I
for him.
like the idea that then an aged 50-year-old, like 80-something-year-old Beowulf, then has to go and fight the goddamn dragon.
Yeah, I like how it ends. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I like that Wiglaf stayed behind. I like that there was all that. I like how creative he was, like fighting the dragon, right? The sword and
mhm,
the venom and the fire and the shoulder and the neck and the stabbing of the stomach.
absolutely. Yeah, and also how the dragons hoard and how the dragons left as well. And yeah, I'm not sure though. It doesn't grab me like a lot, but it's significant. I would say. What do you think,
I
then?
think it's 6 or 7.
Should we go for 6?
Let's do a
It's
6.
above
It's
average.
just slightly above. Yeah.
And finally, WTF. So, what's the messed up things in this? Firstly, we had, yeah, I think it's messed up that he was forced to rule for an old man fighting a dragon. We also the gore of him being bitten and the venom coursing through his lungs and stuff like that. The fact that he kind of went in with only a sword, the fact that he made his thanes watch, the fact that they all ran
Yeah.
away, uh, and I think the passing of power is slightly weird. Maybe not WTF strong marks, but it's certainly weird. It probably signifies was a red flag.
Yeah. I think I'm not sure it was a crazy like whoa, that was fucked up. The
I,
only WTF moments for me is the guy that says that he wants to be king and then dies immediately.
Should we say four?
making so Beowulf has, and the messed up of like, I do find like, I suppose it was messed up how he dies. That was kind of WTF, like the fire and the lungs and all that. I get
Yeah.
that.
So I think I covered a lot of those things, but again, as you say, I don't think it's massively high. Maybe four.
I think a four. I would
It's
agree.
less than average, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is.
So overall, that's 5, 8, 6, and 4, which equals 23. So
It does. That's not bad.
more than last time, but less than the time before. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I enjoy.
Look, I enjoyed Beowulf as a saga. I thought it was all right.
You know, I did too, and I think that. So I believe, do correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't got that much left for Norse mythology. So if listener, if you want to get in touch, you can get in touch with us at misspodcast@gmail.com and get your Norse myths in ASAP, because we really would love to hear from you if you have any obscure stuff you want to get in touch with. But we're going to be finishing off the Norse saga with some of the big hitters, aren't we, Dan?
We are. There's a few big ones left that we're going to do, which will be fun.
And beyond that, you can also follow us at Miss Podcast on Twitter, and also give us a 5-star rating on the Apple Podcast as well. That'd be really handy if you can do that. Helps with the charts. And anything else to add, Dan?
Have you done the email?
Yeah,
Have you done the Facebook and Twitter?
I've done Twitter, but not the Facebook. Well, you're not listening, Dan.
Not really. No, I was getting distracted by
By
the
what? By what?
by the Google, by the like the, I don't know. I was getting distracted by like the thinking about other myths we could do.
Oh, no, you would. You're just daydreaming, weren't you?
Okay, I was getting fascinated. Okay, I was zoning out. I was watching. Okay, here we go. So
I
on the
can't wait to
platform
hear.
that we use to record, you know how like the what they called like the lines appear as you talk. They
Yeah.
go like up and down with your voice, and I was getting a bit mesmerized as you were talking. I was watching the voice go up and down. I was finding the pattern interesting.
So interesting. You saw the visualization. You essentially you were watching the podcast.
Yeah, for the first time ever.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll be you can find us on Facebook as well if you want. But yeah, we'll be back next week for more hijinks and fun. Please share it with your friends as well, and also check out Castle if you can. And finally, Dan, I think we should light up a bong and get high as we do the outro. Ooh, yeah, smoke
Ooh,
some
that's
toke.
fresh.
Oh,
Is that what people say? I don't know.
I don't think we've ever done drugs before, have we? No.
Life is my drug.
Ooh, I snort life. I Anyway,
I snort, yeah. I inject life.
I inject life in between my toenails. Thank you so much for coming on. Oh, grim way to finish. I've been Matt Hoss,
I've been down roads.
and we've been missed.
Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Myths, 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 myths. I'm not sure if you heard about my cat saying. I just put her out. If that's okay. So one
Classic.
second. If you want to fill for a bit, 1 second.
Hi, everybody. You're probably wondering if Matt's ever invited me on Castival. The answer is no. That's why I didn't know really what the podcast was. And in truth, I probably should have asked him. But sometimes I worry I'm a bad friend to Matt. I don't know. I wonder if he thinks I'm a bad friend. I think he probably does. I think he has this weird Stockholm syndrome where he knows I'm not a good friend, but he just enjoys hanging out with me. Huh. Never really thought of it like that. I'm going to prepare what bands I want in my imaginary festival because, as you're probably aware, at some point he is going to invite me on that podcast, and I'll be ready to make it the best episode I can. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hi, what were you saying?
Nothing.
You said nothing. I can see the Zencaster waves. You said a lot of things. What were you saying?
You'll have to listen back, won't you, and find out.
You always do these things for me. Not unless my cat does it at pretty much every episode, so that's fine. Were you slagging off my cat?
No, I wasn't actually for the first time ever.
Yeah, because Dan, what's the worst thing you said about my cat?
Oh, I can't see. The problem is I can't even remember. But I do. I remember there was that thing that you will definitely have remembered that I said to her when I first walked through the door.
Well, you keep it. I think I
I
think
say
you.
a lot of funny things to your cat because I know it gets you.
Yeah, yeah, that's because you can say many things to me in my status. That's fine. But you say something about my cat, I'll fucking stab you, mate. Like, I think you called her fat once, and called her. I said you
Your
wanted to
cat is a
gift.
real. I do have a big affection for your cat, though. I really do like your cat.
Oh,
She's
thanks,
very
man.
lovely, and I get on well with her. Do you remember that time we were watching TV and she jumped on my lap for ages, and you were very annoyed?
Yep, I remember. No, yeah, it's actually.
I just remember you kept glancing over to me like, "Ah,
Was that when we?
she's just sitting on you because you're warm.
And
Ah, she's just going to you because you know she knows I love her. So that I'm like, nah, it's okay. Let it go. It's fine."
and that's just for cats. Imagine human women. All right.